for a long time. We got to get it digested quickly. So that's on us as a staff to make sure our guys understand what we're doing, what we have the capability to do. We're able to still be aggressive in our approach and coach and give our guys a chance to win by doing different things and not being too vanilla. So we still want to do that. So I just think if you put in the time, put in the effort, if you know that people have to get up to speed quickly, you've got to put extra time in. And I think that's going to be a continuous process. There's a lot of guys that are on our roster now that have not been here through spring practice that got here after that. And, we got to use these summer months, June and July. We've got to use fall camp, and we've got to get up to speed as fast as we can.
Jeff, there's obviously been a lot of talk about your homecoming, but for Steven to come back here, obviously won 2 state championships with Trinity, for him to get to come back here for his last season, how big is that, and what is the role you kind of see him playing for this team?
One more time, who did you ask about?
Stephen Herron.
Oh. You know what? Stephen Herron has been a great addition to the team. He is an outstanding leader. He's played a lot of football. He's coming here on a mission to come out and prove himself again and showcase what he's all about and help this football team win and win at a high level. And so he's been outstanding to this point, and I think he's going to be a big contributor. He works really hard in the weight room. He leads by example. He's vocal when he has to. I think he gets it. He understands it, and I think his name carries a lot of weight. And there's going to be a lot of people that want to come out and watch him play. And to this point, he's been tremendous for us.
When you took the job, we talked to you about what you liked in a quarterback and what you wanted to see. Talk about that room and the competition you have in there now. I think everybody obviously knows about Jack, but you brought other guys in, and it looks like to have that competition. And what do you feel like that room looks like right now?
Well, we definitely have tried to add valuable pieces to the quarterback room, and you want to make sure that you develop a starter that can go out there and play at a high level and build a team around him and his strengths and make sure we're doing things that he's really good at. At the same time, you have to develop the backups behind him. At any given point, they're going to have to go on the field and play. And so I think we have. I think we've addressed that. I think we've gone out and recruited and brought some other competition here, not only just for this year, but for the years moving forward. You have to get prepared for that. And quarterback is such a vital position that it takes every ounce of work that you can put in to get them ready to play. So learning the offense, learning the scheme, learning the system, learning fundamentals and mechanics and all those things, working on them daily, being able to grasp things, lead a football team, throw the ball accurately, be able to throw the deep ball, be able to drive the football, throw on the move. All those things need to be practiced and harnessed. And, at this point, that room is stronger. There's more viable competition in there to help us not only through this year, but for years to come. So I've been excited about the additions we've made. They've worked hard. It's a really good room. There's good nucleus of guys in there. They've worked hard together. They understand that the best one will be on the field, the next best one will be ready, and the other ones will be ready to go as well at any given point in time. So we've had some years where guys have stayed healthy. We've had some years we've had to go down to our 4th and 5th quarterback. So it all depends. And but this room has done a really good job of competing and working hard to this point.
Jeff, you mentioned some of those post-spring newcomers, which have been a lot of those. Even though you haven't seen them in an organized practice setting like in spring ball, how have some of those new guys that have come over the last month or so looked in meetings and off-season workouts and things like that?
Well, in generalities, because there's a lot of newcomers, I won't single out one, but I think that we have them all here now for the most part, training with us. We're able to do some things on the field with them within the rules. They've worked really hard in the weight room. We have a good system put together where they're putting in the work on the field, whether we're out there some or whether we're not, and learning everything that needs to take place in order for them to feel comfortable for fall camp. I like our additions, and I think they all will contribute to a certain degree. Some right away for sure. Others, it may take a little time, but I think in general, we've been very pleased, and it's definitely added depth and competition to our room, and we need to make sure we utilize that. And for anyone that's able to get on the field and able to compete and play, we want to get them on the field and get them on the field right away and keep guys fresh as much as we can. But to this point, they've done a really good job.
Jeff, obviously implementing a brand new offense for all of these kids, or for most of them. How important is somebody like Jack who knows the offense? Do you need him almost to be some sort of a coach of sorts during this summer to kind of help you get everybody up to speed a little bit?
Well, Jack's done a great job. His strength, and he is very intelligent, and he was that way when we had him at Purdue. He's continued to be that way as a student of the game. He understands it. He understands what we're doing. Even as we're meeting now, if there's something that I possibly forget or misquote, he can correct me. He's that sharp at what we're doing, and he's on top of it. I do think he's been great for the room. Our young quarterbacks, Pierce and all those guys, have definitely learned a lot from him. They spent a lot of time around him. He's exactly what you're looking for. He's a really good leader. He's worked hard at getting better himself and making sure he's ready to go. He's been vocal this summer in workouts, and he's led our team out there on player-led workouts as well, very well. But yeah, he's been a really good addition to the team to this point. He wants to be the guy to help this football team win, and he understands that a lot of things fall on his shoulders, and if we win, he'll get more of the credit than he deserves. Probably if we lose, he'll get a lot of the blame, and he understands that. He's been through it. So I just think because he's battle tested, he's got experience, he's been through the fire. We're going to work hard to make him have a great last year and make him have success.
Jeff, for you, since the I guess the first game is an away game, and it's also going to be on a Friday. When you're going through prep, getting ready for this, do you, I guess, game plan a little bit earlier than you expected, or do you still kind of keep the process as is, just game planning and getting ready for that first game?
We have a schedule set up for sure, and we're used to playing weeknight games. Even going back to my assistant days here and beyond, and they're very common. We have quite a few this year. A lot of times there's a lot of preparation gone through the spring, through the summer, and then even to fall camp, getting ready for certain opponents. Definitely your first four opponents. Then occasionally you may pick a rival, or you may pick a big game as well down the road that you prep for to a certain degree. Make sure you have a tentative game plan ready to go, and then during the course of the week you pull that out and work hard at it, and you're able to watch the team up to that point as well and see what they're doing differently. So I just think we've put in a lot of work to this point. We understand that it's always a one-game season. It's important to bring your best effort every time you step on the field. Nothing is taken for granted. You only get out of something what you put into it. And our guys understand that. So we've got to put in a lot of work. We've got to continue to do that. We've got to push ourselves to get better every day. We've got to be competitive in practice, even in the summer when they're training sometimes on their own, and understand that you go on the road game one in an environment against a team that played really well last year at the end of the year. So we'll have our hands full, and if you don't come ready to play each and every week, you're going to get beat.
Jeff, I know this is something that you'll probably be able to better answer once fall camp starts, but when you have two talented freshmen at a position like Stan Kwan and TJ at linebacker, how much immediate opportunity do you think there is for young guys like that to play as freshmen in that linebacker group?
Well, I think we've, in the past, have done a good job of getting young guys ready to play and getting them on the field right away. In Stan Kwan's case, it's a little easier, and that's the route we've gone before, where he's had a full spring. He's going to have a full summer, full fall camp. He's continued to learn. He's made great strides, and I feel very confident he's going to do a very good job for us. TJ's, he's new. It's going to take time, so that's not going to happen right away. But at the same time, I'm not going to put anything past someone coming in. So we're going to, get him healthy first and make sure that, he feels good when he's on the field. He's able to practice at a high level. We've got to get him up to speed, terminology and educate him on what we're doing here, and that takes time. So it's going to be a little more of a process with him. This is, I haven't had this happen before as a coach, so we're going to be patient and make sure that we give these guys every opportunity, but at the same time, make sure they're ready when they step on the field.
The tight end position is so important in your offense. It's inexperienced, or the group is inexperienced. What have you seen from that group? And I guess the newcomers, Jamari and Joey, do they kind of almost not really have to play? But I mean, you're going to expect those guys to get out there and compete right away.
Well, that is an important position, and the fact that we don't have a ton of experience is a concern, but that means we just have to make sure we address that concern in the summer and in the fall, and make sure we're doing everything we can to get them ready to go. The newcomers in Joey and Jamari have made strides. We don't have pads on right now, so you can't really tell for sure. Tight end is a really hard position to learn, especially in our offense and in an NFL offense. There's a lot of things you got to do: catching the football, running routes, but also protecting, blocking in the run game. There's just a whole lot of things that go into it. So for a young guy, there are some adjustments that have to be made. And we have to simplify that down as we get closer to game one with some of the new guys and make sure that when they're in there, we're doing some things they feel comfortable with and that they're good at. But I do like the promise of Jamari. He's really big. He's got really good hands. He's athletic. He's so big that we got to make sure we keep him as thin as we can and slim him down and get him fast and in shape and all those things. But he's worked really hard. Joey has got athleticism. He's tall. He can run. He just hasn't played the position a whole lot. So that is a concern. But I think he's worked hard, but that's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But I think, we have some parts that have played a little bit in spring ball, a little bit last season. Some guys, Lifson, that did a good job in the spring. So we'll be very, very competitive there throughout camp. But at the same time, we're going to try to get our best 11 guys on the field for most of the game, and we'll figure out who those are. Okay, easy.